What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, talking today about the latest news to seem to make the entire internet angry, which is the fact that Mediatonic has just been purchased by Epic Games, which means that legally, Fall Guys is owned by Fortnite. Now, on the surface, this doesn't seem like the craziest news ever, but I want to try and break down why this is actually bad for business. Now, let's start things off with just the brutal facts, which is the fact that, here it is, huge news, Mediatonic is being announced that we're joining the Epic Games family, and they decided to post this absolutely cursed gif of the Fall Guys doing the cringy default dance. Also, this is totally off topic, but he has a little bit of a butt on his crotch. Now, they decided to post this frequently asked questions thing here. The internet's crashed, but just to be clear, pretty much everything they say right now is probably only going to be a half-truth. But let's realize that Fall Guys is probably screwed. In fact, if you even look at the replies to this tweet itself, it's people basically saying, "Rest in peace, Fall Guys. I'm happy for your wallets, I'm devastated for your community." You know, it's just basically saying that this is going to freaking destroy the game itself. Like this, the primary reason that people are so pessimistic about this business deal is because of what happened to Rocket League. Rocket League actually just went down this path last year. They got bought by Epic Games, they suddenly went free to play, and the game is chock full of microtransactions to the point at which you're actually having to buy keys to unlock your own chests. I mean, pretty much every part of this now just basically requires you to pay to play. Though you can log in, though you can try and do the games itself, if you want to actually unlock any of the cool cosmetics, you better be opening up that paycheck. You're going to have to constantly pay in order to participate. And this sucks. Of course, this also means it got removed off Steam. Now let's talk about why this is such an obviously awful thing, and it goes beyond just the typical business. These mega conglomerates, more and more, they realize that they can purchase your favorite properties. If there's a game that manages to be daring and innovative, an indie game that manages to push the boundaries, they're usually going to get bought up. The problem is that mega companies like Electronic Arts and Activision and stuff like that, the reason they make so many billions and billions of dollars a year is because they play it safe. Instead of trying to do something that is different or is trying to basically invent the future of gaming, they'd rather just make Call of Duty 55. Instead of trying to actually do something new and interesting fun, they're just going to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again until they go broke. But this makes them so much money that now they can purchase good ideas. Instead of creating great plans, they're going to buy other creative people. Within the world of business, they typically call this brain drain, which is that instead of trying to make up the next big thing, you just buy it. You pay off people and just consume all the artists and use them up. And I do think that this is definitely what's going to happen to freaking games like Fall Guys. Now let's just be perfectly clear, Fall Guys is definitely not as popular as it once was. I mean, yes, at one point this was completely topping the charts of Twitch. People were having humongous competitions, competing for crowns and having a blast, myself included. I actually have about 85 hours in the game itself, just trying to get every single cosmetic unlockable and everything I could from that cute little storefront. But the reason I quit is because it just kind of got stale. They weren't able to keep throwing out new stuff, and so I moved on to games like, you know, things like Among Us or other cool social experiences. And I think that now that Fortnite is managing to swoop in here, now that Epic Games has that dump truck full of money pulled up outside, they're going to just strip it of all the cool stuff that made it fun in the first place. They're going to just make the most bland freaking maps and churn them out as quickly as possible. Every skin is going to be a different marketing deal, from, hey, now there's a Vin Diesel skin for Fast and the Furious 9, or, oh, we can go over here and do something like that. Like, the whole thing is that once they realize that they can monetize this again and again and again, taking it to different directions to sell you what are basically adverts for their other products, they're absolutely going to do it. But more than this, my fear is the fact that these mega conglomerates have realized that they can buy the best creators and basically just get them to create exclusive content for their platform. Right now, they're probably claiming that this will stay on Steam. It's not going to. They're definitely going to make this an Epic Games exclusive, but it also makes me think of stuff like this. This is Fantasia. So this was actually revealed a couple months ago. Today, they in fact just showed off a bunch of new screenshots. Fantasia is by Mistwalker. This is actually Sakaguchi, the creator of Final Fantasy, is making an all-new game that seems completely fantastic, and it's only going to be on iPhone, iPad, and Apple TV. Now, let me actually explain why this sucks. The game itself seems great, but let's just face facts. As cool as this art is, as daring and as original, as fantastic as this whole concept is, my problem with this is that the people who have all the money basically set the rules. The problem is that if these people own the industry, which I think is going to happen, they're going to dictate what is and isn't allowed, where people are going to play, what's going to be published. And this is kind of what worries me the most. As these companies continue to expand, as we see people like CD Projekt Red continuing to publish their own games and buy up studios, we're starting to see stuff like, obviously, Rockstar Games continues to make hundreds of billions of dollars off GTA 5. My worry is that as these companies grow, we're going to see a battle of monopolies. Previously, let's face facts, there's been the consoles wars for as long as there's been games pretty much. There's always been Sega versus Nintendo or Microsoft versus Sony, but I think what may happen in the next generation, I think that's the big war that's coming up here in the next couple of years, is the idea of EA versus Ubisoft. All these mega companies that already have almost all the freaking infrastructure crushing each other. What happens if Atlas gets bought out? What if they decide to start just making a different Persona game every single year, and these studios that manage to make some of the most creative games get turned into factories that are practically printing the most boring, bland, mundane ideas for the basic paycheck? My fear with this is the fact that as much as video games have managed to grow and evolve, because, hot take, I do think that video games keep getting better and better, my fear is just the threat of this, the idea that community is going to get put to the side in honor of more profits. But I guess we're going to see what happens. I just wanted to talk about this because I feel like some people do not fully understand the implications of this Fall Guys Fortnite combination. I definitely think that there is a chance that as these things continue to grow, as we see these companies grow in wealth, in power, in influence, there's games that won't exist unless they allow them to. But I guess we're going to see very, very soon. Over the course of the next 5 years, I think things are going to get very, very hot and a little bit too spicy for, well, the casual gamer. But I guess we're going to find out. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. This has been an off-the-cuff daily gaming talk. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks to all the new subscribers who've been joining. Thank you for liking this video. And you know what? Keep dreaming. This was such a serious video. I don't know why I got so serious. I feel like I sound overly dramatic. But this business stuff, sometimes it makes me a little bit nervous. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.